Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another tutorial, and in today's video I'm going to show you a easy but cute variation on candy stripe. I know we just did one, but I feel like summer is the season where people are starting to learn these bracelets and stuff. So I figured I'd throw out a few simple patterns to get people started on their bracelet journey. So today's bracelet is going to be looking something like this one, which as you can see is a candy stripe basis, and it's got diamonds in the middle of it. So it's really simple, but it's also very cute. So for today's tutorial, you're going to need 3 colors of string, and I'm going really summery today with this bright green, bright yellow, and bright pink. You're going to need something to anchor your bracelet as well. If you've been here before, you know for me that is a safety pin because I pull my knots really tight. But you could also use, some people use tape, some people use a clipboard, and then of course, because we're working with string, we will need scissors. So to get started, you're going to want to cut, you're going to need 4 strings of each color. So for me, I fold my strings in half, which means I'm going to need 2 long strings of each color. And for me, that means I hold my string in one hand and my bobbin or skein in the other and pull it all the way across my body as far as my arms will open. So now that I have 2 of each color really long strings here, I'm going to fold them in half. Oh my goodness. I'm going to fold them in half like so. And as you guys know, I'm going to tie a loop in the top. Just like that. And then we're going to pin this down. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up in a candy stripe pattern here, but we're going to do it in color blocks as opposed to each color over and over again. So I think I want my first stripe to be, what color do I want my first stripe to be? I'm going to do my first stripe green, I think. I love this bright, bright green. So I'm going to lay all my green strings out first on the left-hand side here. There we go. And then I think I'm going to do yellow. So I'm going to lay all my yellow strings out here. And then finally pink. Okay, so now we've got this all laid out. We're going to start, and I'm going to do probably 2 rows just to get started and get the strings kind of set out. So we're going to do 2 rows of regular candy stripe. So if you haven't watched my candy stripe bracelet tutorial, I will link it in the description and the cards if you're interested. But what that means is we're going to start by doing forwards knots. So to do a forwards knot, our first string here is our knotting string, and the second string is our base string. We're going to create a 4, see? And then we're going to pull the loose end of our string through the hole. And make sure you hold that base string tight and pull once, and then do it again, a 4, pull your loose string through, pull it tight, and there is 1 forwards knot. Now we're going to set that base string aside and move on to the second one. Now this is a little bit more tricky, but it is a little more forgiving when you're tying the same color over itself, because if you pop your knots or anything, you're not going to notice. However, to keep the right knotting string and keep all your strings the same length can be a little bit tricky if you get your strings flipped around. But we're going to go all the way across with 2 lines, doing forwards knots right all the way across. Okay, so now I'm just taking our second knotting string as we would with a regular candy stripe, and I'm going across. Okay, I'm gonna lay this out all nice again so you guys can see what's going on a little more clearly. So now I have 2 greens on the left-hand side because we started this pattern going left to right. And I've still got 4 yellows in a row here, and then the 4 pinks. This is going to be a very fluorescent bracelet. Oh, I'm excited for it. Best part is I probably won't even wear it. I only recently put a couple bracelets on, and honestly, I've debated taking them off just because I have a baby, so if she spits up or anything, I end up having to go to the sink and like scrub out my bracelets, which is a little bit gross, but it's what it is. All right, so now we're going to start into our pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our green knot and we're going to do a forwards knot here. Okay, so now we're going to continue through our yellow section only here, doing our forwards knots. And then we're going to stop when we get to the pink section, and I'll show you what to do. Okay. So there we are. Now we're in the pink section. Oh, the end of my strings are all wet. I just got them in my coffee. Okay, anyways. Now we're at this section. We're going to do backwards knots with the pink strings. So our setup should look like this right now. You should have a green string, your 4 yellow strings, and then the green string that we were just knotting with, 4 pink strings, and then the 2 green strings that knotted our first 2 rows. So at this point, we want to do backwards knots with our pink string because we still want our green string to end up over here, but we don't want to see green knots. So now we're going to hold our green string as our base string, and we're going to do backwards knots. And to do a backwards knot, remember, we're going to make a backwards 4 or a sailboat sail and pull the loose end through the hole, and a second time like so, just like that. And we're going to do that with all of the pinks here. Sorry, this is kind of at an awkward position for me to be knotting. I can't really see what's happening because it's pinned so far forward to be in shot for you guys, so you can see what my hands are doing and everything. Okay, and now we've got through our pink section. We're going to go back to our green string. So this was our knotting string for the first half of this line, and we're going to continue to use it as our knotting string and do forwards knots over our last 2 green strings here. Okay. So we're looking like this right now. Now I'm going to lay everything back out so you guys can see how strings are ordered. But our strings are finally starting to lay flat now that we're a couple rows in as usual. And this is generally the portion where beginners find it starts to get easier. In fact, when I'm just starting to teach people, I'll sometimes do the first couple rows of their candy stripe just to give them a bit of a better chance to learn the knots and stuff. Okay, so now we're going to use our green string and we're going to go forwards knots through the yellow section until we get to here, until we get to our pink section again. So here we go. 4s for forwards. Oh my gosh. And this is not how I normally not. Maybe I'll do a video where I just like time lapse record myself working on a bracelet so you guys can see how I actually knot when I'm not doing a tutorial. Okay, so now we've gone across all of our yellow strings. We are in the middle in between the yellow and the pink. And what we're going to do is we're going to start making our diamond here. So with this first pink string, we are going to do a backwards knot, just like we did on the last row here. So again, we're holding our green string now, that was just our knotting string, as our base string, and make sure you hold that tight. And we're going to make a backwards 4 or a sailboat sail and pull your loose end through once and then twice to create a full backwards knot. But these squares aren't filled in, so now we're going to do 2 more green knots. So you're going to hold the pink as the base and create your 4 to make a forwards knot so we can see the green. And the second one. And now we have 1 pink left, and we're going to use it to make the other side of our diamond. So we're going to use our green as our base string, and we're going to knot a backwards pink knot over it. And then we're going to finish out this row with our green knotting string. Okay, so now we are looking like this. We have now completed our green section, and we're going to move on to the yellow section. So with our yellow string, we're going to knot through all the yellows until we get to that pink section again, because we're going to need to finish out the pink diamond. So we're just doing forwards knots until we get there. Okay, so now we have knotted to the end of our yellow section and we've reached the pink section. We're going to do 1 backwards pink knot. Like so. And then we're going to do 2 yellow knots, so forwards knots again. One. And 2, and now we're going to do another pink knot, so we're closing out the side of our diamond here. There we go. And now we're going to tie our yellow string over our green section here. There we are. So our next row, we're going to do the same thing we did up here. So when our yellow reaches the pink, we're going to stop. We're going to knot all pink backwards knots to close our diamond and then finish in yellow. So here we go, forwards knot. Remember to do your forwards knots twice on each string. Sorry guys, I know for anyone who already knows how to make bracelets, you're like, yeah, that's kind of basic. But for anyone who's new to the bracelet hobby, sometimes those reminders are useful. So now I'm going to do backwards knots with our pink. So we're closing out our diamond here. And then we'll finish out the line with our yellow string. Now we've finished our first diamond. You should be looking, you can see when you hold it like that. So now our next row, we're going to start the process again. So our yellow strings here are going to go all the way across the pink strings now until we get in between here, between our pink and our green. And then we'll start our next diamond. So this is like a cheap pack of string that I got from Walmart. It was a brand I'd never heard of, but one thing I'm starting to notice, like I like the colors and the string seems pretty stable, but it's kind of fraying very easily at the bottom, which surprises me a little, but it's knotting really well and I'm not getting any color transfer or anything, so it's definitely not the worst string I've worked with. But okay, so now we have gone through the whole pink section. You can really see our diamond there now. And we're going to start a green diamond. So we're going to do all backwards knots with our green over our yellow. And then finish out the row with our yellow knotting over our yellow. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the start of our yellow section and we're going to knot all the way across the pink again until we get to the start of the green section. And I don't think I said what pattern number this was or anything off of Bracelet Book, but I will post it in the description so you guys can take a look at the pattern if you want. Okay, so now I'm just doing one backwards knot with our green because remember we're starting the side of our diamond. So now if we look at our pattern up here, we have one pink knot and then two green knots. So we have our one green knot now. We're going to do two yellow knots to start filling in the center of our diamond. One and two. And now we want a green knot, so we're going to do a backwards green knot over our yellow string. So we've started our diamond here and we're going to finish out this row with the yellow. Now, I think this is a fun pattern because it is fairly simple, but it's a nice variation on candy stripe. Like, I don't make a ton of candy stripe bracelets because they're so basic. And I just find there's so many other patterns that I think are easy and, I don't know, more aesthetically pleasing to look at. But I think this one is fun, and the diamonds just give it a little extra something. Okay, so now we're going to knot our pink string until we're at the end of our pinks and in between starting the green here. So has anyone read any good books lately? Are you guys into reading? I like reading. I just finished The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. And I'm really surprised that I liked it because, I don't know, my mom had told me that they had to read Atwood in school and she hated it. But I actually really enjoyed it. But my Audible credits are piling up and I need some suggestions for books. I'm not sure what to get. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know down below. Because I love to read a bit of everything, so pretty much whatever you read, just link below and I'll take a look at it. Okay, so now I'm doing our next pink row. So we do 2 pink knots, and now we've brought our knotting string to the middle between our pink section and the start of the green section. And now we want to close out our diamond. So we're going to do all of our green strings doing backwards knots over our pink string. And then we're going to finish out the pink row. And you're going to continue doing this until you reach the desired length of your bracelet. So at this point, I am going to sign off here and I'm going to make this and we'll meet back together to tie it all off. Okay guys, so I have finished this bracelet now, and I think this is a perfect bracelet. I'm just gonna do a regular braid on because we're already working with just 3 colors. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll go ahead and I'm going to knot off here. Okay, and then we'll just snip that. And that is that. The bracelet is now complete. And that is how you create a candy stripes and diamonds bracelet. And then a reminder, because I always get asked this, how do you tie your bracelet on? I place mine face down on a surface. Put your wrist or your hand palm up. Put your knot through the loop, your starting loop that is, like so, and then create a loop with the tail of your bracelet and pull your knot through, and then just pull it tight, and there you have it. A candy stripes and diamonds bracelet. So if you guys like this tutorial and found it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe if you aren't already. If you want to see more videos like this, or you have bracelets you want to see me make, let me know down below. If you have any questions or concerns as well, also let me know down below. And until next time, I will see you guys then. Bye.